This episode is brought to you by SmartVestor. Connect with an investing pro near you at RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor.
Our Ramsey Network app question is from Derek today. Derek writes, my New Year's resolution is to max out my Roth IRA contribution. I'm 30 years old, and I want to know if it's best to contribute to a target date index fund that will automatically adjust risk as I age, or should I just invest in an S&P 500 index fund?
Great nerdy question from our friend Derek. He has been doing the research.
Yes, he has.
Okay, so I'll give you one man's take on this. I am personally not a fan of target date funds, and here's what they do. They start out with mostly equities, right? Stocks. And over time, they'll start to introduce more bonds into the equation, which will reduce your quote-unquote risk, but it also reduces your returns. So think about this. You get to retirement age at 60, and you could make it to 90. So for the next 30 years, you've basically stunted the growth of that account to the point where it might run out. And so here's my take, and Dave would back me up on this. It's wise to just stay invested heavily in equities. Now, if you talk to your financial advisor at 60 and you take into account your risk tolerance and all that, they might go, hey, let's put you in 20%, 30% bonds, whatever. But I'm not a fan of target date index funds doing that on your behalf, especially for a young 30-year-old. Yeah. You want to stay heavily invested in the stock market versus moving towards those bond funds. So yeah, S&P 500 index fund is great. Growth stock mutual funds are great. In those retirement accounts, mutual funds are awesome. If you're talking about a taxable brokerage account outside of retirement, that's where the index funds really come in handy because they're low turnover and you'll have lower tax implications on that. So great question, Derek. I'm going to go with no to the target date fund and yes to staying in the equities, my friend.
I'm going with what he said.
A lot of nerd speak.
Well done, sir.
But a lot of people
should do this for a living.
Well, a lot of people they set it and forget it. That's the beauty of target date funds, and you can do worse. It's not a terrible thing.
Right.
But my take is I want to keep that 10 to 12% return instead of getting a 3, 4, 5% return in retirement.
Couldn't agree more.